Last week, I went on a pretty incredibly cold backpacking trip to Elfin Lakes here in the coast mountains of British Columbia. I brought my Nikon FM2 film camera along with me with one single roll of Portra 400 film, the OG, the classic. I'm still fairly new to shooting film, so this is kind of just like a practice of getting out there more, essentially just being really intentional with how can I capture the trip and the adventure and the story with as few photos as possible. Those are a lot of things I'm kind of thinking about and that are going through my mind when I go on a trip like this. As I was hiking up, there's pockets of like cloud, kind of rolling through at the elevation I was at, and it just made for these insanely beautiful moments of the sun just coming in and the light rays kind of being created through this like cloud of fog. And it was honestly just a photographer's dream to capture these images. About 5-6K into the hut, you get to Red Heather Meadows, and there's this little warming hut there. So I went in there and had a little snack and got a couple frames. This is like 9 or 10K in, and I was almost at the lakes, but I was just chilling. I was enjoying this. It wasn't super cold yet, so I just took a spot to sit down, have a chocolate chip muffin, and take in the views. My goal for this trip was basically, and I think this is the beauty of film photography in a lot of ways, is let whatever happens happen. Stop trying so hard to create photos and force photos. Just let them come to you, take your time. I think that's the beauty of film photography in a lot of ways. And I was really trying to lean into that and remind myself that while I was hiking and while I was taking photos on this trip. Yeah, so about this time, it was like, 5 or 6 o'clock. Sun was just setting. Weather wasn't really good. I was hoping I'd get kind of a nicer sunset, but instead it just kind of like dumped snow, sleet-ish kind of stuff. And it was a bit of a scramble, just being super cold, filtering water, cooking dinner. I made Annie's mac and cheese for dinner, got the jet boil ripping, and tried to warm up as much as I could. Went back inside the hut to capture some of the snow. This picture doesn't do it justice, but it was just dumping snow. And I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a cold night, and I'm not really prepared for this. made my way back over the lakes, got a couple frames looking back down on the lakes where I camped the night before. Typical sort of Pacific Northwest where you just have so many different like textures and atmospheres, and every like 3 seconds you'll look at one frame and look at another frame and then look back, and it's changed completely. And so it makes it really exciting shooting this kind of stuff just because it's always changing so much. Finally got back down to like the double track ATV trails. This is the spot in the hike where you kind of get back in the trees again, and it's not quite as interesting, but there's this beautiful little waterfall just right on the side of the trail, which is really nice. Yeah, I got in the car, there was this gorgeous light coming down, driving out. I had to pull out on the side of the road and capture a couple frames here, get like a little film selfie. And then I got home and dried out all my gear. My tent fell off my balcony, which I'm still trying to find. And I put my booties out in front of the fireplace behind me here. Got one last frame because I had one shot left on my 36 roll exposure. It's so fun going out for this long a time, like for 2 days, basically hiking, having that entire time just to focus on capturing photos and really leaning into slowing down, shooting intentionally. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. Peace out.